Hey Coin Collections, it's DC on the Big D, and we have the 1954 Benjamin Franklin half dollars from the United States of America. It's a Type 1 reverse in which you have 4 full feathers, and the Type 2 reverse has 3 full feathers. And see how these little lines come down here? That's what we would call it. So this is the Type 1 reverse. The Type 2 reverse would have 1 less feather in it. And here's one of them right here. So this is the first one here. It says Liberty at the top, Ben Franklin facing to the right, 1954 under his chin. Down at the very bottom it says In God We Trust. Pretty basic design, not a lot of bells and whistles on this one, but there is a bell on the back. The Franklin half is a 90% silver half. We can see the edges here. And there is the Liberty bell on the back. United States of America around the top. This funny kind of cool O in the of. See how that they had the little tiny O? I guess that's really stylistic and it's interesting. But it looks a little funny to me. If you have a mint mark on the Franklin half, it'll be right here above the bell. This one doesn't have a mint mark, so it means it was made in Philadelphia. That means it was either one of the 13.4 million regular coins made in Philadelphia or one of the 233,300 proof coins. Well, we can tell this probably isn't a proof coin because it doesn't have the shine, it doesn't have the polish, and it doesn't have the detail. So this is just a regular Philly. One of the things you look at on these coins, whether you can see full bell lines, half, a Franklin half, this would be not a non-FBL, I guess is what you'd call it. So here's one of those really expensive Franklin halves on PCGS.com, and you can see this one has an incredible amount of tone on it, and patina is what they call it, and this one has all these colors. This is a Mint State 67 full bell lines, and full bell lines is this section over here, goes from here to here. We've gotten that wrong before in some other videos. It took us a while to figure it out, but these lines that go from here to here, that's what you're looking for, not the crack. You do want to be able to see the crack all the way down through, but these lines that go through here, and we'll magnify them so you can see them a little bit better. And this 67 full bell lines, you see that at Philadelphia, they made just a little over 13 million of these at Philadelphia. The auction record right here from Stack's Bowers is $14,100 in 2016. And when you do these, always look for the current value. So go over to the farthest one over that you can see here. And the best one they've ever found is a Mint State 67 with full bell lines. PCGS says they found 13, or they've graded 13 of them so far. PCGS says they graded 6 of these so far, and they're worth about $13,000. So that's a Philadelphia one. If you want to find out the Denver one on PCGS, you just go right up here, and you click on the D, or the next one in the series, and it'll come up. And you'll see that there's actually another one after this, the S. So on the 1954 D, you see that it doesn't have anywhere near the patina, but it does have some beautiful, beautiful details to it. And some of the other ones up here do have patina. Some of the other ones up here do have patina on them. Another 67 full bell lines, 25.5 million from Denver. Auction record $21,275 from the Heritage Auctions. And then down here when we go, we see a Mint State 65 is worth $100. But if we flip over, we see that a Mint State 67, they're valuing that now at about $15,000. They say it's down a little bit from the $21,000 it was paid in 2002, but $15,000 is still a pretty good sum. And then if we go to the S from the San Francisco Mint up here, which you know, of course, in 1954 San Francisco is not a specialty or proof mint. This is just a regular coin. They made almost 5 million of these at San Francisco. The auction record is 13,853 from 2017. But if we go down here and we go over, we see that the current value is about $8,500. For the Mint State 67, and that's because they found 11 of them and 37 of the 66 pluses. So the more you get, the the less rare it is, and the value goes down. All right, let's get back to our coins. This coin also came from Denver. And we can see the Denver, there's that mint mark way up at the top right there. It's kind of a flattened D, but these kind of got worn out. And we remember, these were used a lot, not just in the slot machines in Vegas, but people in general had these with them. One of the things you look at on these is sometimes is how many feathers are there on the wings closest to the bell. There's a type 1 reverse in which you have 4 full feathers, and the type 2 reverse has 3 full feathers. And see how these little lines come down here? That's what we would call it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the type 1 reverse. The type 2 reverse would have 1 less feather in it. Let's talk about where the halves are now and where they came from. In 1964, they first came out with the Kennedy half, and we still have it today. This is a 2022 Kennedy half. You can only get them from the U.S. Mint. You'll see, if you look right here, that it is a copper nickel-clad copper. You can still get this in a silver, 90% silver, from the U.S. Mint if you get the U.S. Silver Proof set. Before this one, of course, we had some Kennedy halves through the 60s, from 68 to 65, going backwards, that were 40%. And then in 1964, the first Kennedy half came out, and it was 90% silver. The Kennedy half that came out in 1964 replaced the Franklin half, and the Franklin half went from 1948 until 1963. Before the Franklin half, of course, there was the Walking Liberty half, and this half is from 1945. The Walking Liberty half went from 1916 to 1947, and before that there was the Barber half, and this is a 1907 Barber half, pretty worn out. There's a D at the bottom where the mint marks were in the Barber half for Denver. The Barber halves, we had them from 1892 to 1915. This one probably not worth much more than a Franklin. These coins are relatively sought after. They're worth, start at $10 and go up from there. Hardly, sometimes it's hard to find them for under $12. $12. So there's our San Francisco, our Denver, and our Philadelphia Franklin half dollars from 1954. We'd love to have you subscribe to the Big D Coin channel. Leave any comments you might have in the comments section.